Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Suzerain Rizia, the first DLC for Suzerain. In Rizia, you take the role of a monarchy of the Kingdom of Rizia, another country in the Suzerain Universe. You can see Swordland up here, the kingdom of the base game, or the country of the base game. Rizia down here to the southeast. Notionally, it's an oil state. It's a petro state, but it seems like all of our oil and gold has gone away, and we are basically bankrupt, and we're in the midst of a war with a neighboring country over a perspective field. The Duchy of Pales is who we're in conflict with. We are also in conflict with Valen. President Smolak, the sort of Hitler-esque dictator to our northwest, has a lease that is about to expire on a territory of ours called Zil. But he's already reneged on that lease once for a 3-year delay. We're hoping that we'll get Zil back through referendum here soon. The war against Pales is not going well. We've made a little bit of progress, but it's pretty much a stalemate. And now the Lesbia, the capitalist power who is very rich, and you can see we are not, is possibly going to intervene. I've got a whole bunch of diplomatic stuff going on in my kingdom. My own family in Valkyries hates me. I imprisoned my nephew. He seemed like a threat to the throne. We are dating the Azores family, the sort of military family's daughter of their leader. So she's sort of our mistress, so maybe we can keep them in line, but they probably won't be happy with the way the war is going. And then we are also trying to suck up to the family in Brennes, the Saisons. We put them back in charge. They had led a coup against my father and had been sort of disinherited for a while, but we put their matriarch back in charge. But they're also sort of reformist, democratic-minded folks, and I have not been a democratic reformer, so, you know, there could be coups coming from multiple directions. Hundreds of miners enter new pit. Oh yeah, we got a new coal mine, so that's helped stabilize our energy situation at least. Alright, anyway, we're going to the Alliance of Nations. I forget why. Oh yeah, to get Zil back to us, I think. But also, they're probably pissed at us about this ongoing war, so this could be an ugly situation. I looked around and none of the other leaders had the prestige nor the grandiose of our convoy. I felt good about the day. I smiled before jumping into the den of wolves. After the usual greeting, we moved into the welcome hall, with Lorento to take our seats. He leaned over to my ear. "Here we go, Your Majesty." "What's the worst that could happen?" "We'll see." Wait, that's not very optimistic. A man that I recognized as President Nines approached the podium. The introductions to the session followed. With a hit of the gavel, President Nines announced the opening of the session. Prime Minister of Lesbia, Patricio Alvarez, was announced. "Thank you, President Nines. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of the world, I stand here to accuse the Kingdom of Rizia for what they have done in Southern Merkopa." A roar of whispers and confusion rose in the chamber. Lorento and I looked at each other. What did we do? We're gonna make up something? Rizia is guilty of what? Guilty of waging a destructive war? Okay, fair, but they tried to steal our oil, so... Guilty of causing a massive refugee wave across the continent, which we have generously supported with money. We've given all the refugees who have come to our territory support. We do not want war in Merkopa, we want peace, and ladies and gentlemen, peace has been sabotaged by the archaic methods of the kingdom. We have read our newspapers and watched our TVs. We've seen horrific images. They've destroyed women and children alike. They burned villages, schools, hospitals, for God's sake. What? We did none of that. We didn't bomb anything. Just soldiers. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of the world, Lesbia is hereby officially calling for heavy sanctions on this warring nation on our border. Okay, whatever. Go ahead and sanction me. I don't have any money. My income is -8. Like, whatever. Hopefully Rumberg won't let us down. We will adapt and survive. President Nines announced the voting of the sanctions to begin. Did we not even get to vote in this situation? Like, we weren't able to stand up and argue against it? Well, this isn't good. 2 abstains, 3 ayes. So Smolak isn't helping. Diridia isn't helping. Obviously the duchy. Why did Alma vote aye? We're helping her. All right, well, we're going to get sanctioned. Wait, how did Smolak vote? Didn't he abstain? Oh, they just had an image that looked like him. Okay, whatever. It is what it is, Lorento. What's Angoli? I don't even know what... Have we even seen Van Horten yet? I'm trying to remember. It's been a good long while. Oh, the Nurists? Okay. Hedgie Island. I don't understand. What is this related to? This is going to stir up some issues between Vagsland and Agnolia? Our people on this island are currently living under the long shadow cast by Vagsland. Their territory ambitions know no bounds and no end over the island, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but why do I don't care about this, guys. We haven't even heard about this island until just now, have we? So there's going to be a world war, maybe? There's more at play here. As unfortunate as it is, one needs might as well to make right. For peace in Eastern Merkopa, Hedgeland has to be recognized as Agnolian. Don't forget that it'll be us first, and then others will follow. I ask you to do the right thing. Okay. Nay. Aye. Abstain. Aye. Nay. 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 Alright, well, obviously it's not going to pass. You got killed. Not as badly as we did, but that wasn't even close. I guess we vote nay? I don't know. I don't care. No one's helping us, so why would we... The sanctions already passed against us, so... That was a pretty anticlimactic appearance there. Deficit from low global energy prices. Oh my god, our economy is negative 14. The recent drop in global energy prices has led to a significant decrease in energy. How is the world energy... So this part doesn't make sense. Energy prices are declining, despite the fact that they are sanctioning Rizia, who is an energy exporter. Like, who's pumping all this oil into the international economy? Not every cloud is a silver lining, I guess. There goes 2 of my money. All of this money's going to go away, though. We're going to be probably bankrupt. Yeah, we have no money, but let's fund the royal wedding. Let's get people real pissed at us. They're sanctioning me because I'm waging a war against Pales, because Pales tried to steal a gas field of ours and we refused to tolerate it. And now we're waging a war against Pales over it, but now they're mad at us for waging a war. Yeah. Nighttime at the palace. This makes me wonder if this is going to be like the coup warning like we had in Swordland. No expense spared for the royal wedding. Treacherous Vespasian forces a sanction vote. Zil return. Diplomatic standstill. Global energy prices have hit a new low, driven by ever-increasing supply of energy with only limited increase in demand. While this is an incredible situation for the average consumer in many countries, net energy exporting countries are expected to suffer. That would be us. The game made a very good point, though, that, like, a few turns ago, the world was basically running out of oil, so energy prices are low. Heavy A in sanctions. Someone's going to ask us to leave, probably. It was the night before Vina's wedding. After a day spent finalizing arrangements, holding press conferences, and reviewing security details, I was exhausted. First, though, I decided to take a walk in the palace gardens to clear my head. I just stepped onto the grounds when I bumped into Lucidia. Hello, Your Majesty. I was conducting last-minute security drills in the Grand Hall. You really can't be too careful with these things. Sounds like you're urgently in need of stress relief. Come on, let's take a walk. We strolled further into the gardens, and it was a balmy night, and the moon was just beginning to rise. Under the cover of darkness, Lucidia slipped her hand into mine. I can't believe Her Highness is getting married tomorrow. I still remember attending the celebrations when she was born. Her mother looked so gorgeous. Believe me, Princess Lena of Rumburg couldn't hold a candle to the Duchess Lucidia of Monteclair. The blossoming flower versus the bird of prey? I know what they all say about me. We had come to the clearing in the middle of the gardens. To our left was the stone bench. The moon had risen by now, illuminating Lucidia's features. I thought about everything we'd been through together. I thought about her position as counselor. Her interim status had lasted longer than expected, but it was nearly time for her father to return. Well, the game just springs it on you? Like, I just decide, Neil, should I ask her to marry me? In the presence of the heavens above and the earth below, I do extend upon thee an offer of marriage. What kind of nonsense is that? No, will you just marry me? Let's just be, chill. Is it unromantic of me to ask why? I loved you since the moment you entered my council chambers. How did she love me before we met? Okay. Yay. You're not going to have a king for a husband for very long, but at least we'll be happy for a night. Are we going to get married right now? Sure. Let's do a Vegas wedding. We're going to get cooed in a night anyway. Grand Viseman, His Majesty and I are in love, and wish for you to sanctify our union by the sacrament of marriage. This is unorthodox. Listen, we can either do this here, Sal, or we can go to Vegas. Would you rather we live in sin? I still have Lena's wedding ring. Ooh, that might piss off my daughter. But I didn't give her my wife's wedding ring, did I? Are you sure? I'm sure Rumburg will be pissed, but who the fuck cares at this point? Okay. Yay, please join hands. Getting married. Almighty and ever-living God, who in thy infinite wisdom hast blessed upon the union of two hearts in the holy wedlock, look kindly upon His Majesty Romus Toras and Duchess Lucidia Azaro, who stand before thee. By the way, how's this gonna look? My daughter's big day is tomorrow, right? Big palace wedding, big celebration for the kingdom, and her bachelor father's gonna show up to her wedding, and everyone's gonna be like, is he with this other person? This other person has a wedding ring on. This other person has his deceased wife's wedding ring on. All of the attention in the wedding will shift. My daughter's day will be ruined. There will be a scandal in the kingdom. Ooh. It's a double wedding. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. The royal orb was on his desk. He picked it up and motioned for us to place our hands on it. Repeat after me. Wait, I want to say my own vows. No, we'll just do the vows. I, Romus Toras, do pledge my unwavering faithfulness and devotion to you, Lucidia Azaro. I I vow to honor and uphold you in joy and sorrow, in prosperity and adversity. I commit to lead our union with wisdom and compassion, seeking always the guidance of the divine. In all our days, my commitment to you shall remain steadfast as we walk together in God's light. The Grand Wiseman placed the orb back on his desk. He took out a small pocket containing a strong-smelling substance. Something, something, something. This was salvaged from the Plavo crypt. I don't know who it belonged to. It belongs to House Azaro, Grand Wiseman. That much is certain. I will wear it with pride. Need Bruno Mars playing It's a Beautiful Night? We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby. Yeah, okay. I know the song. Yay, we're happy for one night. There's still one more wedding to go. Oh, boy. Let's see how this other wedding goes, huh? Lucida Arzaro is my wife. Rizia's queen consort. The wedding of Prince Vina. The day of Vina's wedding had finally arrived. The mood in the country was jubilant, though the prospect of permanently losing Zil to Valen lent some solemn undertones to the celebrations. The service had just concluded at the Arch Sanctuary of Ziba. Vina had squeezed my arm tightly as we walked down the aisle together. When we saw Manus waiting for her at the altar, she cried tears of joy. Grand Wiseman Ignacus presided over the wedding, giving to the sign that he repeated the same words to myself and Lucidia the night before. As per tradition, the newlyweds shared their first kiss on Ziba's steps in front of the public. Neither paid attention to the cheering throngs as they passionately locked lips. Citizens waved Rizian flags and House Cezanne crests from their balconies as our carriage procession wound through the streets of Port Draison, flanked by the Golden Guard. We disembarked in front of the Palace Resna. It was time for the reception. Lucidia was by my side as we entered the grand hall. I heard cheers mixed with disapproving whispers as the photographers took our picture. Was this a mistake? Too much too quickly? Probably. Perhaps it was rather careless of me to upstage Vina on her big day. Nothing to be done about it now. I looked around the hall. It had been transformed into a sea of banquet tables, each adorned with silk tablecloths, elaborate floral arrangements, and the finest of china. Crystal chandeliers twinkled overhead, so enormous I thought the ceiling might collapse. We crossed the room and took our places behind the head table. My mother was already seated, wearing a deeply violet hat adorned with peacock feathers. Pobble shook our hands before helping us into our seats. "Congratulations, Your Majesty, and to you on your hat, madam." "Why, thank you. I'm happy someone in this place appreciates haute couture." "Thank you, Pobble. I'm glad to have you here with me today. Where else would I be, Your Majesty? Oh, forgive me, Your Grace. I didn't notice your arrival." Angelica Cezanne approached our table. "Hello again, Your Majesty. It was a beautiful ceremony, wasn't it?" She bowed to myself and Lucidia. All three of Rizia's houses at the same table. Whoever would have thought? My mother contorted her mouth into an approximation of a smile. "Life is full of surprises, dear Duchess. For instance, I've imagined myself facing you many times. In none of those scenarios was I congratulating on raising such a lovely son." Angelica laughed warmly. "Then I should congratulate you on the same." "It is good to have you here, Duchess. The union of our houses by marriage is a mere harbinger of what is to come. That is my hope as well." A stirring quartet struck up a stately march as the bride and groom made their entrances. Vina's shimmering white gown trailed behind her as she and Manus strolled through the grand hall, arm in arm, their eyes still only on each other. Every so often they remembered to wave at their cheering guests. As they took their seats behind our table, a line of guests formed to deliver their congratulations. "Look at this, Vina. All these people came to Port Draison just for you." Estella leaned over and nudged her granddaughter. "Try and tear your eyes away from your sweetheart while the greetings and well-wishers, won't you?" "Sorry, grandmother." Diplomatic duties call, Your Highness. Queen Beatrice was first in line to greet us. My word, Vina, you're the spitting image of your mother in that gown. Thank you for coming, Aunt Bay. Why wouldn't I miss it? Or why? I wouldn't miss it for the world. Mr. Cezanne, I hope marriage to my niece will keep you from stirring up trouble. Manus kissed her hand and grinned. More likely the opposite, Your Excellency. I'm wondering how Beatrice is going to respond to me being married now, because she was, what, the sister of my late wife? I'm ever so sorry we couldn't not do more to help you gain an edge against the Palazians. Their aid was truly invaluable, Your Excellency. We'll pull a win from this yet. Beatrice gave her an unusually wide smile. You were too kind, Duchess Azaro. Is it gauche to mention her sister when I just got married? Let's see what she says to this. I'm not so rude as to forgotten a gift. Our royal jewelers are putting the finishing touches on it as we speak. With a final curtsy, she departed to the table she shared with her husband and sons. I took a look at the line. There were still a number of guests waiting to greet us. Nobles from House Cezanne greeted Vina and Manus in droves, but before I knew it, it was time to eat. As the father of the bride and the King of Rizia, I was expected to open the feast with a toast. A new Cavanuto vintage had been bottled in Vina's honor. They named it Her Royal Winess. Lol. I raised the full glass in front of me. My cherished friends and family members. Apparently it's a sparse turnout. Did it say that? On behalf of the entire Rizian royal family, thank you for joining us on this most joyous of occasions. Special mention must go out to Her Excellency Beatrice Livingston, Aunt of the Bride and Rizia's longtime friend and protector. Long ago, I promised my daughter that she could marry whomever she desired. Providence smiled upon us. When the Crown Princess of Rizia fell in love with a man who happened to be my ideal choice of prince consort. Mr. Cezanne, while we have not always seen eye to eye politically, I know you will take good care of my daughter. I don't really want to rub it in the Cezanne's face that her kids won't have their name. I suppose to? I don't know, they're all referencing it though. I mean, that would all three options basically say the same thing. I guess maybe I could have just mentioned that she would carry her own last name. As we make merry today, let us not forget the brave sacrifices made by our troops. Final toast to love and its power to build bridges that last beyond our lifetimes. To Vina and Manus. Hope it's a good omen. Okay. Let's see what the next turn has in store for us. Goodbye, money. The prince. Alright, this is the final chapter. After decades of Valen occupation, Zil is finally reunited with Rizia, marking a historic moment for the kingdom. Despite encountering significant obstacles, King Romus' perseverance was instrumental in guaranteeing the crown successfully reclaimed Zil, securing its rightful place within Rizia. The long-awaited reunion is a symbol of the king's commitment to the kingdom's prosperity as the flag of Rizia flies over Zil once more. Hey, cool. So the referendum went well, I guess? Order breaks down as street battle erupts? What? Protests against the monarchy have turned violent in Iza? Why? Street battles have erupted between anti-monarchy demonstrators and ultranationalist This doesn't make any sense, though. They loved me when I overthrew their tyrant. That doesn't make any sense. And we restored their duchess. Why? Request for help from the Palasian populace? The ongoing War of Les Pales, critical infrastructure in ruins due to bombing and military engagements, vital facilities including water treatment plants, power stations, and transportation networks have been severely damaged. Sure. Maybe I'll get a little bit of credit on the international community for letting humanitarian aid through. Large Marine Corps. Okay. I'm confused why the Saisons are mad at me. The Palasian government has called plans to deliver humanitarian aid to its citizens an insult, saying that instead of lobbying for aid, the international community should support an immediate ceasefire and end of airstrike. I haven't been bombing civilian infrastructure. That's annoying. Authorities prepare for another mass demonstration. This is very abrupt. It's very frustrating that it's just like, oh, and by the way, people are protesting against you. Since when? I get that there's an unpopular war going on, but especially with the Saisons. We just married their frickin' prince to our daughter. Alright, Supreme Visman Azmal's arriving. Why would I even support Prime Minister Sultana? She just frickin' screwed us at the sanctions meeting. And now I'm acting as their liaison? Fuck both of them. That's true. My economy's in shambles, but the game should at least tell me that the economy's in shambles. It really hasn't done that. Okay, so Osmal's mad that she's referring to their insurgents. Alma's mad that they're obviously supporting insurgencies. There's obviously only one way to solve this, a duel of generosity? No. All those options sucked. This is a problem with no easy solution. Okay. Rizia re-allowed Dirty and Golcondas into our places of worship with no ill consequences. We call this St. Verk's Corridor. His finger traced a thick black line from the Dardian-Morellian border toward the Antician coast. Each year, a select number of Dardians with an appropriate prayer visa will be allowed into Morelia via this specific channel. It includes the most important sanctuaries on the Golcondas pilgrim route. The route continues into Rizia, where Dardian pilgrims have been permitted for some time. How do we know the Dardians will stick to the route as they pass through Morelia? How do we know the Morellians will not attempt to block it? I will send a company of the Rizian armed forces to... I don't have any money to raise new troops. So, whatever. You can use my manpower. Fine, we'll send 2 army companies. Now that we're in the midst of this war where we can't win, we'll deploy our soldiers elsewhere as well. Thank you for your swift willingness to compromise. Yay, Rizia. I'm gonna be overthrown, but maybe we'll lead a local alliance or something for whoever succeeds me. If Morelia and Dardia can come to a diplomatic agreement this quickly, I have high hopes for the Interim Copium Alliance. The Copium Alliance. I know it's not copium, it's copium, but still. May the Lord be with you. Yay. Peace in our time. Homelessness and freefall? As the program providing housing to homelessness individuals starts picking up speed, the number of unhoused inside Port Drezon is effectively halved. Shortage of housing still exists, making finding suitable housing space difficult, but new constructions are underway to alleviate the problems. Hell yeah. Our economy might be in shambles, but, you know. The final MITS meeting. Verk Corridor formed in Morelia. Do we get like a final act in the war where we can do something, or is the war over? We're going back to the Miftium trade zone. Do you think our proposal's still a good idea? Well, admittedly, it's unlikely we'll find any new gold sources in Rizia in the near future, which is troubling because a large percentage of our economy still depends on gold. So we have a vested interest in making sure the proposal we agreed on with Morelia goes through. I'd advise you to think about how we can maximize our returns, even if it costs us international partnership or two. I don't want to upset our relations given the situation with the war. I'm back. Greetings, Mr. Alvarez. My brothers and sisters, we all know what this is about, so I'll get straight to it. Several years ago, the Republic of Morelia began an initiative to bring resources of the Meftian Basin under the stewardship of our state and our people. Unfortunately, not all the stakeholders agreed on this new direction for the trade zone. But after several rounds of negotiations, we were able to come to a compromise that preserved the MIT's structure while introducing new measures. The new arrangements include some changes to the size of our partners' shares, but rest assured, nobody will be going home empty-handed. Well, almost nobody. Low! An aide approached Sultana with a briefcase. She opened it and took out a single piece of paper. The amendment of the Miftian International Trade Zone Agreement of 1957. From henceforth, it is agreed that the share of the myths previously belonging to Vagsland will be transferred to the Republic of Moria. Higher wages and stronger labor and environmental protections will be implemented immediately. The other half of the trade zone will belong to Rizia. Alvarez scowled and folded his arms. Each MIT's partner must now grant his or her final vote on the approval of the proposal. Rizia votes yes. Eat shit, Lesbia. The gloves are off, Your Majesty. Good luck and pals. Don't forget to smile for the cameras. Man, if only I had the chemical weapons. Talks for Southern Merkopa Alliance canceled? Okay. Phase 2 of the operation of Total Tranquility. That's not good. I wish you could stop an attack. This armor's gonna get rocked over there. At war with a negative 15 budget. Russian grind set. Hell yeah. Bomb their support. Maybe that prevents my armor from getting totally rocked. Alright, so there's two objectives we have to... Oh, three objectives we have to take. Pals, Souls, and Remez. Alright, we got... Can we... Armor probably gets pushed back this turn. So the armor's gonna get hurt but not destroyed quite yet. Meanwhile, we badly hurt the enemy ships that were trying to stop our attack in Remes. Is that a lesbian ship? Something just dropped. I'm getting bogged down, which is what I really can't afford to do. Alright, so that armor's gonna get destroyed near Remes. Okay, so naval stuff not going so great, huh? Do you have any reserves to deploy? No. Wait, did I just click something? Ugh. I can't support the tank because my ships are all engaged. Oh, they can't move and support at the same time? Well, this armor's screwed. Okay, so this attack might go a little better for us. Again, all these damn attacks bog down. At least maybe I can bombard Remes this turn now that we've destroyed a couple enemy ships. That attack on Remes is going to fail, apparently. But another enemy armored division's destroyed. That's good, at least. mistake. All right. I mean, we're making real progress this turn on in the middle of the field, if you will. But it's probably too little, too late. That was a mistake. We're only 2 hexes away from souls and like 2 from pails. Should sink that enemy warship. Our armor just got driven off that highway. Oh, that sub is locked in? Oh, no, it's not. Alright, maybe we'll take that objective this turn. After Remus's capture, an enemy officer proposes a lucrative bargain. His knowledge of Pale's defense for us guaranteeing his family's safe passage. Sure. Ah, there's a capital ship. Enemy flagship. You can build units. So, yes. So what did it reveal? Did it do anything for me? Alright, so we're gonna lose that armored unit probably. They're advancing deep into my province. Is there an objective out that way? Like, where are they advancing to? Just cutting my supply lines? Okay. Do we have one more phase? Because if we have one more phase, there's a chance we can win. But if that's the end, we're screwed. Tens of thousands of worshippers are expected. High tea with Queen Beatrice. That's not good. Dirtia backs out of regional alliance talks. Oh, I'm sorry for solving your border problems and now you're backing out of alliance talks. Thanks for the loyalty. The second largest Palazian city, Remes, has been liberated by our glorious king's army. Hell yeah, brother. Maybe the war is finally turning in our favor. I doubt it, but maybe. In any event, guys, I'm going to jump in here and wrap this video up. We've got one more video left in our Suzerain Rizia series. That'll be the next one. For the time being, however, this is the Historical Gamer thanking you once again for watching this series. I hope you guys are enjoying, and until next time, I'm out.